Moving on now to our other big story this evening, and that is the new Shah of the BJP. Amit Shah is officially now the new party president. Earlier this morning, Rajnath Singh handed over charge, as it were, praising his organizational skill. Let's bring up some of those pictures there. You can see Amit Shah there with Rajnath Singh. Amit Shah, of course, became the front runner for that post after delivering a spectacular victory for the party in Uttar Pradesh. Several opposition parties have responded acerbically to the elevation, both the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party in particular, saying that his previous cases, the cases that Amit Shah is facing, especially in the Sohrabuddin fake encounter, they say is a new low. The BJP, of course, has welcomed the elevation and said that his organizational skills will bring the BJP much advantage, with one eye, of course, on the assembly elections that are due shortly. All right, let's introduce our panel this evening. We are joined from the Congress. We are joined by Shashi Tharoor, Member of Parliament in the Lok Sabha. We're also joined by Pawan Verma. He's, of course, with the JDU, the Janata Dal United. We're going to be joined shortly by Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP, and Swapan Das Gupta will be joining us in the studio. Shashi, let me get first comments from you. On one hand, one would argue that who a party chooses as its president is entirely its own prerogative. Why have we seen so many comments on Amit Shah's elevation, as it were, from both the Congress and other parties like the Aam Aadmi Party today?
Well, it's a fairly unusual choice. I mean, you know, as you began quite rightly, Barka, by saying it really is the BJP's business whom they choose to head their party. And really, we in the Congress party would not presume to have a say in any of their appointments, nor would we expect them to have a say in any of ours. Having said that, to appoint somebody who has a slightly curious past, he has a pending murder charge against him, he's out on bail, he has certainly not been convicted, we're not accusing him of that, but he has not been exonerated either. He was actually externed from the state of Gujarat for 2 years on charges upheld by a judge in the court that he might influence witnesses in the fake encounter case in which he was charged. And these are rather serious matters, tarnishing somebody who becomes the president of a national party. Now, I do want to stress, we're not presuming guilt. There is a judicial process in our country, and he may well be found to be totally innocent. But the fact is that while these charges are pending, it is still quite a remarkable position for someone with these things hanging over his head to accomplish. And you know, we're looking at him being the youngest president of the BJP, a party that's been headed by the likes of Mr. Vajpayee, Mr. Advani, and so on. And now Mr. Rajnath Singh, who's the Home Minister of India. It's obviously a position of a certain stature. And we ask whether these pending charges should not have been cleared before such a stature was accorded to the same gentleman.
Okay, we will get the official response from the BJP in just a moment. But Swapan, we were talking about this last night as well, and you said that the important thing was that Amit Shah's past should, in a sense, not cast any sort of shadow on his present. That the important thing was that nothing that raised the controversies of the past should ideally ever happen again. But Shashi Tharoor and other parties today have made the point that could the BJP, or should the BJP, not have waited till Amit Shah was exonerated of these charges?
Well, let me say firstly that, you know, I'm touched by the concern of Shashi for the propriety and integrity and the ethical norms of the BJP. And he should also remember that when Mr. Advani was made party president, he too had an FIR against him. He too had so-called criminal case against him, which was of an intensely political nature. Whether Mr. Amit Shah's so-called indictment stemmed from political motive is something which the judiciary will ultimately decide. But I think...
But is it baggage to carry?
No, I think it would be baggage if it is perceived to be baggage. Anything can be baggage if there is a perception that it is a baggage. As far as Amit Shah is concerned, I think the rank and file of the BJP, from whatever little interaction I have had with them, seems to be very enthused, and they believe that this is the right man to at the moment, he may not be the only person. I mean,
Yeah.
there may be
Yeah.
other people also. But certainly he is one of those most appropriate at present to handle a very, very delicate transition of a party from being a party of opposition to being a party of government and managing the relationship between government
Okay.
and party. So
Okay.
I believe there's a particular political task which is in front of him, and I think he is suitable for that job.
Let me bring in Sudhanshu Trivedi of the BJP now. Sudhanshu Trivedi, you've had very sharp reactions coming in from other political parties. In particular, there has been a focus on the charge sheet that Amit Shah is facing. Yogendra Yadav going so far as to say that it has lowered the minimum moral qualification for becoming a national leader. Can anyone remember another head of a national party who's under trial for murder, kidnapping and extortion? It's a new law. The Congress has been a little more understated, but we've got Shashi Tharoor on this program also saying that it's a curious past. Do you believe that this could become a problem for the party? After all, there could be court appearances, etc., going forward.
As far as the charges against Amit Shah is concerned, if you look at the entire history of the judicial trials, he is successively getting exonerated on one issue and the other issue. So it is continuously proving that the charges leveled against him were non-substantive and were politically motivated. As far as his elevation to the party president is concerned, we are not at all affected by these type of politically motivated charges which the Congress government has tried. We have considered three things. Number one, the generational transition which is going on in BJP since several years. Amit Shah ji is just almost 50. When Rajnath ji became party president, he was 54. When Nitin Gadkari ji became party president, he was 52. And Amit Shah ji is just 50. Second thing, we have seen his commitment to the organization and the ideology. When he was Home Minister of Gujarat, he was coordinating with the organization. And in the recently concluded Lok Sabha election, he has proven his organization ability and the management capacity. Keeping all these factors together, our parliamentary board members have unanimously decided to pass the baton to Amit Shah. I do not see anything significant or anything controversial, anything problematic in that.
Okay, Pawan Verma, come in here. At one level, the BJP could at least argue that it has a younger leadership, it has a self-made leadership, that by contrast, the Congress continues to be in the trap of the dynasty in a sense. Do you believe that the narrative of criticism in a sense has fallen by the wayside because these charges against Amit Shah did not convince voters, for example, during the campaign?
No, Barkha, frankly, it is a choice of the BJP who it appoints as its president. That is a given. And I'm glad that Swapan is touched by the fact that we are concerned. But the truth of the matter is that the BJP is the ruling party of the country. And I believe people have a certain interest in knowing the background of the person whom they appoint at their helm. Frankly, I think I am a little surprised, in fact deeply surprised at the choice. I say this to you, Barkha, because the BJP, you may not agree with its views, has always been an intensely ideological party. A sense of idealism has been asserted by it from the time of Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, Deen Dayal Upadhyay, etc. You may not agree with their views, but you can't deny that. I believe this decision indicates two things. That on the altar of power, the BJP has once and for all put an end to all idealism. The second point is that for the BJP, short-term electoral gain in terms of what Mr. Amit Shah may have done as a strategist, not a statesman, in specifically UP, is far more important than any other baggage he carries. Because let's remember one thing. Let's remember one thing. He has been accused of abduction, of kidnapping, of murder. He is out on bail. The Supreme Court has once even cancelled his bail. He has been asked to be away from Gujarat and was so for 2 years. In Muzaffarpur, there was even a case of inciting riots, but let us not dwell on it. But there is also the other case of a greatly controversial nature which has not been fully investigated, which is that of Snoopgate, where the audio recordings have not been contested. His conversations with Mr. Singhal, the police officer.
But the point...
There is Vanzara in jail. Every police officer who has dared to speak is being punished. So I say, good luck to the BJP. They have chosen to break with the past. And today the BJP has also broken new ground on one other thing, which is complete prostration before what Mr. Modi wants, irrespective of any other consideration.
Let me bring it. I think you've made a number of very strong and provocative, some would say, points. Muzaffarnagar, not Muzaffarpur, and I think the Election Commission then withdrew its notice after Amit Shah explained or apologized or regretted those comments in his own reply to the Election Commission. But Sudhanshu Trivedi, in a way, the BJP would have weighed the pros and cons of this decision. Respond to the specific comment made by Pavan Verma that Amit Shah is a master strategist. That does not make him a political statesman.
Even if Mr. Pavan Verma considers himself as a master strategist, I think it's a compliment for Mr. Amit Shah. But even if you consider himself as a strategist, and when we are in power, we are appointing him as party president, it means we are not degrading the capacity of organization, and we want to have a strong organization build up which will work in coherence with the government. So in my opinion, in a long-term strategy, I disagree with Pavan Verma ji that we are considering just a short-term strategy. We are having a properly planned long-term strategy in which the government and the organization will grow with a mutual strength, and we will be able to serve the purpose of the people of India for their betterment.
Okay, Shashi Tharoor, it's a little bit...
You will use any means.
Sorry, Pavan? What? Sorry?
For which long-term purpose you will use any means.
Now, hang on. Here, let's take this beyond the points. I think you've all framed this debate. Shashi Tharoor, is it a little ironic to say to hear Pavan Verma saying that the BJP has today, in a sense, bowed before the power of Narendra Modi? Because some would say the Congress... No one criticized the Congress for bowing always before the Gandhi family. So at least these are self-made leaders. They are younger leaders. They are self-made. They didn't inherit political power. They carved it out for themselves. Both Amit Shah and Narendra Modi.
Yes, but self-made doing what, Barka? I mean, self-made doing what? Mr. Shah's record is one of getting things done, undoubtedly, for Narendra Modi. He did everything from orchestrate the takeover of the Gujarat State Chess Association to the Gujarat State Cricket Association when Mr. Modi and he took over, to the elections, of course, in Gujarat itself. He had 12 portfolios at one time. The UP elections we've heard about. He is somebody who gets things done. In a sense, this goes well beyond the sort of ideological positions or the positions of belief and practice and philosophy and political statesmanship that were supposed to adhere to the leadership of a party. But there is a slightly more negative concern that I'm sure my good friend Sudhanshu Trivedi will want to address. He mentioned someone like Nitin Gadkari. Nitin Gadkari had not been heard of outside Maharashtra, but in Maharashtra he was known for being the man who built the Mumbai-Pune highway. There was a particular track record. Mr. Amit Shah's positive reputation is only as a man for getting things done and winning elections, whether to chess bodies or cricket bodies or state assemblies. But he also carries with him a nationwide reputation for getting perhaps the wrong things done. We're not prejudging a court judgment, but when he's accused of kidnapping, murder, extortion, and indeed illegal wiretapping, surveillance, all of that, these are fairly serious charges to be hung around the neck of somebody who then heads your national party.
Before I put that to Sudhanshu, Swapan, just a perspective from you. When there is a legal charge, is the answer then to say that if the people don't believe it, which clearly, in a sense, if you look at the verdict, these charges have not had any political consequence for the BJP. Does that take away from their potential moral consequence?
No. Firstly, let me say that I think Shashi seems to be very irked that Amit Shah did manage to get control over a cricket body, something which I fear a lot of people are interested in and have never successfully done so. But let that pass for a moment. I think somehow we are getting that impression, and a casual person who's hearing this debate might get the impression that here is a person who goes out with a gun and sort of kidnaps a person, extorts money at street corners, and is the general local thug. I think I think that would be far from the truth, and I think that the impression being given is here is a busybody, a person who's bereft of any ideological moorings, a person who's just one of those goons who's strayed into politics. I think that is doing a grave injustice to what Amit Shah is capable of. I think Shashi has recognized that he is a very, very competent manager. He may not have written books on ideology, but I can assure you that he has a certain very grounded in what the BJP's belief structures are.
So when Pavan Verma makes the argument
when all
this
these
is kind of post-ideology.
This is post-ideology. I think their knowledge of what the real Amit Shah is only partial. But this is to get back to your question. No, a popular verdict does not necessarily take away from the sanctity of any judicial strictures, if there were to be any judicial strictures.
Yes.
To say so would be saying a very, very dangerous precedent. But to my mind, and I think this is a point which Sudhanshu Trivedi has made quite a lot, repeatedly at each point we find that most of the cases against Amit Shah seem to be dropping by the wayside, and they are not sticking. So that is the particular point. And to say that Amit Shah instigated a riot in Muzaffarnagar when he was nowhere near the scene of the thing. And as everyone knows, there were certain specific local conditions. And if Amit Shah was there, he was in his capacity. Mr. Verma, you have a very fertile conspiracy theory, and your sense of ethics seems to be driving you into, fringe positions increasingly. And I think in that case, if you're not very concerned about who the BJP appoints as its party president, I think the gratuitous remarks should be kept aside. But overall, I think I would repeat the point that there is a political purpose behind the appointment of Mr. Amit Shah, and that political purpose is inextricably linked to larger concerns of what you call ideology, which I certainly don't put into such a rigid framework. I call certain belief structures, core values, etc. And I think the important thing is to see how much Amit Shah is able to
answer.
Okay, one at a time. Shashi, go ahead.
No, I too wish we could take comfort in the notion that this is a sort of post-ideological appointment. We don't believe it is. I think that the appointment of Mr. Shah as somebody who will get something done in the service of the RSS ideology. So there is no question in our minds that merely because he is being described as an organization man doesn't mean that he's post-ideological at all.
You have been among those who've been saying that Narendra Modi, just one second, Pavan. Shashi, you've been among those who've been saying that Narendra Modi, since taking over as Prime Minister, has surprised you. You even got into some, you had to clarify to your own party why you had that kind of praise for him. Do you believe that Amit Shah could surprise you as well?
Well, that remains to be seen. Right now, all we've seen of Mr. Amit Shah on the national stage is as a man who organizes election campaigns and apparently has a major role in orchestrating the election victory of the BJP.
Which is
now,
no mean
obviously, with more elections
Shashi.
coming up a few months away, that's his principal role. The question still is, it's whose victory and for what purpose? With Mr. Modi, all I have said, as you know, is that he said the right things. We're yet to see what he does. And when we judge him on the basis of what he does, Mr. Shah will certainly be by his side, ensuring that he delivers on the electoral numbers that Mr. Modi needs to pursue the convictions he has. So these are still important issues for us to watch.
Swapit has a point, and then I'll come to Sudhanshu.
Yeah, I would say by that logic, Shashi,
No,
you would say that Mr. Amit Shah has done
the
the right thing. He has succeeded in the right way. Winning an
me just
election, as you
answer.
well admit, is not a trivial achievement. Certainly winning more than 70 seats in Uttar Pradesh is not a trivial achievement. And therefore, we have seen what he can do. Now let's see what he can articulate.
Yeah. Okay, Pavan, go ahead, and then Mr. Trivedi. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Pavan.
Barka,
Yes.
first of all, let me make the distinction between commitment to some form of ideology and a dedication to idealism. Why do I raise this? Swapan may not like it because he's become a hard-nailed proponent of who is an electoral strategist. And everything else doesn't matter anymore. And anyone who talks about it is talking about a fringe element. I am saying to you that the BJP in this election rather successfully, bolstered by a great deal of projection and promotion, took a high moral stand against everything that appeared to it to be unidealistic, including most importantly corruption.
Yeah.
And then, having come to power, it appoints the president of the party, which is an exceptionally important post, who has cases not of a minor nature.
Let Sudhanshu Trivedi
Now,
answer
which
that.
party?
Let Sudhanshu Trivedi answer that. I think that's a reasonable question. Sudhanshu Trivedi, is there a mismatch between what the campaign was run on and the appointment of somebody who has pending cases? And it's also being compared with, for example, the quick ouster of Nitin Gadkari as president, whom some would say had relatively milder charges against him. But at that time, the BJP took a very firm position that they did not want the imaging of this post to be problematic at all. So when you compare it with that, I think the question that Pawan is asking is, have you taken a greater risk with a disconnect between what you ran the campaign on and this appointment?
In this context, in continuation with what Mr. Swapan Das Gupta has said,
yes,
I would like to further extrapolate. Now, in the last 50-60 years, we have become accustomed to be accused on one pretext or the other. But I would like to ask Congress and other so-called secular parties that in decade after decade, from 1950s to the allegation of Gandhi assassination to 60s, the firing on the saints of Go Hatya movement to 70s on this emergency, and 80s and 90s on Ram Janmabhoomi movement, and 2000 decade, the targeting of Narendra Modi. You see, the decade after decade, they said that they are trying to put a remedy to the disease of communalism in Indian politics, but we kept on growing to the stature that we have become a single majority party for the first time in post-independence history. Yeah. I would like us to ask them that they must have an introspection, and I would like to say a couplet with slightly improvised form. It is a famous sher. Marize mazhabi siyasat. Communal politics. Marize mazhabi siyasat par laanat khuda ki. Marz बढ़ता गया जो दवा की. You have to first introspect why the thing keep on going and the things are in front. So in my opinion, they should now refrain from
reply by a return
and try to understand.
Yes, Pawan, go ahead.
Barka, just to reply to him, another couplet, Sudhanshu ji. खतावार समझेगी दुनिया तुझे, बस इतनी भी ज्यादा सफाई ना दे. The point is very simple. We wish the BJP well. They've made a certain choice. They are buttressed by the fact that he delivered certain results. I'm not going into how. And I don't even know how much credit goes entirely to him. But I am surprised for the BJP. I don't... Swapan will say, I am very touched that you are surprised. It's a national party, it's a ruling party.
Okay. I have
People look up to it. Why should you appoint a person who was accused of kidnapping, abduction and murder, which is the Supreme Court monitored investigation?
I've got just a minute left on the show.
It's not a trivial accusation.
Okay.
I'm so glad you're touched because, Pawan, your party didn't even want to cohabitate with us the moment Narendra Modi took over. So I think, you didn't even want to be, and you didn't want to share the same bench.
Okay. Shashi and then Sudhanshu. Yeah, Shashi.
But Barka, very briefly, I mean, the fact
I would like to respond to
Yes,
Mr.
Gadkari was already president of the party. When Mr. Gadkari was already president of the party and certain charges were raised, he was asked to step aside.
Yes.
If the charges that are now already raised against Mr. Amit Shah had been raised when he was already president, would he not by the same logic have been asked by the same BJP to step aside?
Okay, Sudhanshu Trivedi, please answer that.
How can they justify naming him with those charges?
Sudhanshu, very quick last word, please, and then I'll wrap it up with Swapan.
On the issue of Mr. Gadkari, even after 1.5 years of the allegation, nothing was proved. In an RTI answer, it was proven that no case is pending, no inquiry is pending in Income Tax Department. And now finally one sentence in reply to Mr. Pawan Verma. When you are going for the cause of change and commitment to the ideology, you have to be ready to face the hardships, but ultimately you will reach the top.
Okay.
In a line which is used in RSS, which is न जो बर्फ की आंधियों से लड़े हैं, कभी पग न उनके शिखर पर पड़े हैं.
Now beyond the sort of
RSS को डिवैल्यू इतना भी मत कीजिए.
okay, beyond all the शेरो
वो कह
शायरी.
रहे हैं कि जिनके अगेंस्ट ये चार्जेस है उनको प्रेसिडेंट बना दीजिए.
Okay, I'm giving Swapan the last word, and the last word is this. Shashi asks an interesting question. If these charges had come up when Amit Shah, in the tenure of Amit Shah being party president, as they did with Nitin Gadkari as party president, would the party's response have been different? Does that matter today in the larger debate?
See, I think there is a one difference.
Yeah.
There are no personal charges against Amit Shah. Charges are completely political in nature, and they were part, an aspect of the larger campaign against Narendra Modi, which had been going on relentlessly since 2002. And I think, you know, one of the features we found about this entire campaign against Narendra Modi is that the more you charged him, the more you attacked him, the more stronger he got. And I think Amit Shah today should take heart that despite the disclaimer that, oh no, we are not really interested in who the BJP appoints, there is a great deal of emotion, including by, you know, people like, you know, Aam Aadmi Party, I wonder who they are, but including by everybody across the political spectrum seems to have a view. So I think somewhere along the line it leads me to the belief that perhaps the BJP may have taken a singularly right step in the right direction.
Okay, we leave it there. The debate will continue. Swapan Das Gupta, Pawan Verma, Shashi Tharoor, Sudhanshu Trivedi. Thanks for joining us on the Buck Stops here. That's it on the program tonight. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks and goodbye.